America, since he's returned from China, he has not lost to a single American player on U.S. soil.
Well, definitely Kanak with a chance to train in Sweden, and now he will be facing the defending champion here at the Brooklyn Bowl in Yijun Feng.
Sean, Kanak is one of the most decorated male junior players we've ever had in the United States, and now it's time for a test. Are you ready to be on the stage with the big boys? Can you dethrone the king of America right now in men's table tennis, Yijun Feng?
Now we have two Olympic teammates. They will be heading to Rio, so here's a chance for a prize fight between the defending champ Yijun Feng playing against Kanak Ja. Who's your pick?
My pick, I'm going to go, if I have to choose who I think is going to win, I have to go with the current men's national championship, Yijun Feng. But the future of U.S. table tennis relies on the shoulders of Kanak Ja. At 16 years old, he's got some wide shoulders, and I really hope that he can put together a good performance tonight here at the Brooklyn Bowl.
Well, I'm definitely going to go in the corner of Kanak Ja, and we should have a great match tonight with both players ready to go. Best of 7 match here at the Brooklyn Bowl. Both these players represented the United States in the World Championships, so they know what it's like to be cheering for each other. Now they're on opposite ends of the table. Kanak Ja playing out of Milpitas, World Champions Table Tennis Academy. He's also been playing in Sweden out of the Halmstad Club, one of the strongest professional leagues in Europe.
Yijun Feng, he's playing out of the He will be attending school this fall at the University of Georgia, so he's going to stay in the Atlanta area, even though Athens is a little bit away from his home club. He's hoping he's still going to be able to train as a professional player while going to school. But this is the first of what could be
often in China, in some of the strongest leagues over in China. So I definitely agree with you. I think we're in for a very interesting match with contrasting styles. You still have that shake hands grip like we saw with Lily Zhang against the classic pen holder. Yijun will again be using the backhand on the opposite side of the racket from what we've been used to.
Best of 7 game match to 11 points from the last blue by 2. Game on.
Again, this will be a best of 7 game match. Expect to see a lot of power from both players.
And again, Sean, just like in the previous match with Jachi against Lily, you can see, you mentioned earlier that Kanak is going to get off the table a little bit. You're going to see a feeling out process in this match as well, not because they don't know each other's games, but because this is Kanak's first match inside the Brooklyn Bowl. And I think you're going to see a big, heavy crowd tonight for Kanak. Everybody likes to root for the youngster.
Kanak with a very nice series of backhand exchanges. Kanak, we saw him in the earlier matches in this championships really get his forehand into play. It's not nearly as big as Yijun's, but Kanak is going to have to be offensive and up at the table, I think, a little bit more than floating back.
Yeah, especially in the backhand rally, he cannot afford to go back off the table like that. You're going to give Yijun way too much time, and if you give him time, he's just going to start picking locations and hitting bombs.
That was a very nice drop shot by the youngster. really been the darling of the U.S. Olympic team, the first player born after 2000 to qualify for the Olympic Games in table tennis. Oh, what a nice, powerful step-around forehand drive. Ja sets it up with the backhand and then just turns the corner, showing some power of his own.
You guys notice on the camera there, if you watch, when Feng grips his racket, he has the tape over that finger. He's got some blisters. So I don't know how big of a impact that'll have. Didn't have much of an effect in the semifinal match last night. It's just something to kind of keep your eye on if it does become an issue.
Both these players want to keep their serve short. They're not going to necessarily try to ace the opponent, but set up their first attack and then continue with well-placed balls all over the table.
Nice serve and turn and step around there by Kanak, Sean, but the thing I didn't like, his first attack went into a little bit towards the Yijun Feng forehand, and that is not a place you want to go. You want to try to attack the backhand side.
It seems, Corey, when Kanak is able to get a quick hit, he can really reduce the power load that Yijun Feng can deliver. Difference in height, difference in grip. Oh, there's a forehand smash directly off the serve. No hesitation. Kanak just smacked that ball down the line and has easily set the tempo for game number 1 here in a best of 7. Oh, just a great combination of backhand attacks by Yijun. Just really controlled that ball well, moving it around. But Kanak with the lead and the serve. That ball caught the edge, and not a good tactic.
Tactical error was very, very huge there, Sean. Was where Kanak should have taken this next ball. He should take this ball to the backhand. Instead, he challenges the Feng forehand, and that was a bad idea. That ball was a lot. If he keeps going there, Feng Yijun can make that ball all day long. He has to stay to the backhand once they get off the table.
And that's a beautiful backhand opening. Reminiscent of what we saw in the women's final. Jia Zhang doing the same exact stroke, same exact grip. Great defense there by Kanak, able to withstand a series of powerful forehand and backhand topspins off the table by Yijun, just keeping his racket behind the ball. Finally, Yijun misplays the ball. Point to Ja leading now 8-6 in our initial game. And that ball catches the edge.
Well, now they're even one edge each. Huge point right here in the first game, which I think is really important for Kanak to get a game under his belt early.
That serve. Another net serve. Oh, a very nice third ball attack. Yijun able to reach over and just jump on that slightly high short return. And again, Corey, Kanak jumping on every opportunity to get his offense going.
One of the benefits of being young, Sean, is sometimes you don't feel the pressure that everybody else feels. It looks like a little bit of that right now with Kanak. He's out there just swinging away. Got him to a 10-8 lead in game one.
Net serve. That backhand by Yijun is so devastating. He's able to bend his wrist down and just spin that ball up, keeping it nice and low. One more game point for Kanak. Oh, and missed opportunity there by Ja. That ball popped up, and he had a chance to take game number one, but instead we are to deuce.
Here's the first chance, Sean, to see if the youngster can overcome some early adversity.
Oh, and that backhand goes long. And Yijun Feng takes game number one in comeback fashion, 12-10, with a series of
out of Atlanta. He will be attending school this fall at the University of Georgia.
Those two service winners. Yijun really mixing up the spin well, changing the direction, changing the spin, changing the placement. Kanak going to have to feel very happy about that last exchange when they go forehand to forehand. That doesn't appear to be the shot or that play that he wants to get into.
And that time it almost looks like Yijun Feng is just throwing darts at Kanak. Yijun Feng exploits the short game, and from there, Kanak has no way of getting the offense back. Yijun Feng can just basically take the ball wherever he wants off either side, forehand or backhand, and that's the strength of Yijun Feng. He's missed about 5 of those flicks. He's trying so fast, trying so hard, Kanak is, to get back after the serve return that he's not finishing his first shot.
And there's that backhand.
And that's why he's trying to get out so fast, because if Kanak has to play the serve return long, Feng's power on that first ball is devastating, and that's why Kanak is making some errors on the serve return. But not a good start to game two for Kanak. A lot of pretty simple errors. And he doesn't have points to give away for sure.
Nice third ball attack there.
The same ball he missed at 10-8 in game 1. This time he got the shoulder. The key to that shot, Sean, is timing. You have to get the ball right at the top of that bounce, and if you catch it too a little bit late, you're going to miss in the net. Perfect timing there by Kanak Ja.
And once again, Kanak Ja jumping on the short serve.
Yep, that was a different serve return though, Sean. It wasn't the slow spinning one. He kind of punched at him, and that's what we were talking about with the keys to victory for Kanak Ja, is he has to mix up the serve returns that he gives to Yijun Feng.
Oh, that ball sat up a little bit. It looked like Ja was just a little slow to reach it.
He got there late, and that was the same thing. He made the ball when he got there on time. That time he got there late. But he did a good job of mixing up the serve return that time. But he was so far back waiting for a big shot from Yijun Feng, and he wasn't in position to take advantage of the high ball.
Advantage Yijun Feng. If they get into that forehand slugfest, the height, the leverage, just the overall body power, very tough to match for the young Kanak Ja.
Sean, you're right, but that's the only way Kanak can win. Also, he can't win backhand to backhand. He has got to find a way to get his forehand into play.
That ball really jumped out deep off of Feng's racket. That ball catches the back edge. Here we see the chop, backhand loop, and then a follow-up backhand loop that just brushes the back edge of the table. And again, Yijun Feng showing just how powerful his forehand is. Once he made that first topspin, he just continued. And now we have 4 game points. And Yijun Feng with a very powerful backhand into the body takes game number 2, 11-6, with a powerful backhand that just jams Kanak Ja to get a 2-lead victory in this best-of-7 match. Both players, my name is Sean O'Neill, next to me Corey Eider. Corey, what does Kanak Ja need to do to get back into this match?
First step, Sean, he has got to stop committing errors on the serve return. He knows Feng's serve very well. He's just trying to overplay it right now, and he's got to try to find just a safe way into the rally. You're not going to shut his serve down. He's got to try to extend the rally a little bit and try to find some rhythm like he did in game 1. Last game he had no rhythm at all. Feng's gotten a couple lucky breaks, but when you're the one making the big shots, you're generally the one who gets the breaks.
That forehand loop by Yijun Feng has really been on fire so far in this match. Ja serving trailing 1-2 here in game 3 of a best-of-7 match. And we are tied up at 2 points apiece. Oh, a big mistake there by Kanak Ja. Got the ball that he wanted with that backhand attack. Yijun Feng just keeping the ball into play, but somehow Ja mistimed it, and now we're tied at 3-all here in game 3. Corey, it looks like possibly the fact that Yijun Feng has played here before could give him a slight advantage.
Yeah, I think a definite advantage, because This environment is definitely different than the environment they've been playing in all week. It's a lot more of an intimate setting where you have fans kind of close to you. It's a great setting, no doubt, but it's a little different than what they're used to.
And that forehand is just on fire. Yijun Feng, after getting through the serve and serve return, powered that forehand from the right side of the table. Kanak needs to be aware that that ball is coming back twice as fast as it's being delivered. Both players agreeing that it was a net serve.
Oh, that serve was not good at all.
And what a bad time had a serve just trail off the end of the table. Yijun again stepped around, got his forehand into play, and now has a 2-point lead with the serve, trying to extend. And what an error there. Both players showing a bit of nerves here in the men's singles final. Oh, and that third ball attack, that's just brutal. There's no stopping that over the table.
Yeah, Kanak did a good job of keeping it short, but it sat up a little high. And with those long arms of Yijun Feng, he's able to take complete advantage of the high ball and just rips it for a winner.
Little unforced error there by the defending champion. Again, Yijun, when he reaches over the table on the backhand side, that penholder grip gives him so much more leverage to create side spin.
And timeout by Stefan Fett, the coach of Kanak Ja, knows that if Kanak goes down 3-0, we could be out of here real fast. So probably a really smart timeout here. I think he's going to try to remind Kanak he's got to play a quality serve return, but it doesn't have to be so good where you have to have a lot of risk. He's got to keep finding a way to get his forehand into play, even if it means he has to go forehand to forehand with Yijun Feng, which Feng's forehand's probably a little stronger. If he sits there and goes backhand to backhand, that's probably even worse. So you kind of have to pick your poison, and that's why Yijun Feng is kind of the king of America right now in men's table tennis.
Well, he's definitely been dominant, winning the national championships last year, taking the top spot for Team USA at the Olympic tryouts. Yijun Feng's game has just been so complete. Just great on the short stuff, good on the backhand-to-backhand exchanges that you said, Corey, and what a powerful forehand.
And you can hear the fans pretty loud in the background, Sean. They're trying to get behind the youngster, trying to pump him up. They want to see more ping pong. They don't want to see us get out here with a 4-0 win. They want to come back, and it starts right now. And there it is, Sean. What we were talking about in the timeout break, you have to find a way to get your forehand into play. Kanak does a good job starting with the opening off the serve. Has good footwork, finds another forehand. That's his key to victory. If he cannot play points like that, he's in trouble.
Oh, what a devastating mistake there. Serving in the net, now trailing 7-8 here in game 3. But a very nice third ball attack. Serving over to the backhand side, and again, stepping around to get that forehand into play. Yijun unable to lift that final ball. And now Kanak Corey taking a backhand-to-backhand exchange and getting the lead right back. Return by Yijun Feng. Kanak with a forehand smash over the table, but he went to the most difficult place to go to, which is on the forehand side. Here we see the quick drop shot, pops up just a little, banging it to the forehand. Somehow Yijun Feng gets it back. Kanak unable to return one more ball. We're at 9 apiece.
Nice over the table backhand there by Kanak, getting the game point here in game 3. We'll see if he can capitalize. He had 2 game points in game 1. He's got another one right here. The same thing happened with this game point shot. He got a high ball. That one wasn't quite as high. He rushed it. I hate to say it, but that's just inexperience.
Lucky break there for the youngster. The defending champ had the ball to the forehand side, played one backhand attack, came to the forehand, and just completely whiffed on the ball. Game point for Kanak. Oh, what a combination by Kanak. Taking game 3, 12-10 with a series of backcourt counterattacks. Both players unleashing a series of forehand and backhand loops. Very strong play. Kanak jamming himself, somehow able to get his forehand in. We have game 4 ready for you here at the Brooklyn Bowl. More action to come. We're back at the men's singles final of the 2016 U.S. National Championships. We have a match for you right now. Youngster Kanak just took game 3 in dramatic fashion. Both players fighting for U.S. supremacy here. And Yijun Feng starts the proceedings with a backhand attack, playing in the gray shirt out of Atlanta, Georgia.
The way Kanak made that comeback there in game 3, Sean, was he really did a good job of getting his forehand into play. He's going to have to do that again in game 4. I think Feng is going to try to lock him up.
Oh, look at the power there by Yijun Feng. After a great series of backhand-to-backhand exchanges, we knew eventually it would get to the forehand side, and just powering one to the backhand, and then one big swing to the forehand. No one's going to return that ball in America. Net serve. Both players recognized it before the umpires, so they'll redo it. One more net serve. Oh, wonderful combination by Kanak Ja. Just jumping on the serve return and then getting that forehand into play that you mentioned earlier, Corey.
One thing I'm kind of surprised with from the Feng Yijun side, Sean, is that he still hasn't taken his backhand down the line. When a player's trying to turn all the time, like Kanak is, a good strategy is to take the backhand down the line. It keeps him a little bit more honest, but he's happy going straight cross court with Kanak, knowing he can win that battle. The issue becomes if Kanak starts stepping around and having some success, then Yijun Feng could be in some trouble.
And that's exactly what you pointed out, Corey. Kanak Ja beginning to hedge, try to turn the corner on the forehand. Yijun Feng simply played it out wide to the forehand. Much weaker play.
Yeah, really smart play there by Yijun.
Oh, great short touch returns by both players. Again, anytime Kanak can win one of those, he's got to feel good. And Kanak Ja continuing to fight to get his forehand into play. That time, Yijun able to keep the pressure on from the backcourt. And now these are some must-win points. Kanak cannot allow for this small lead to grow.
That's again the inexperience, Sean. Sometimes he goes for shots that just aren't available. That serve wasn't even long. He's already over the table trying to rip it.
And that's what happens when you top up a serve return to a tall player. They can so easily reach over the ball and just smash it through you. Shots by both players. Kanak Ja able to throw in a backhand counterattack from the back barriers, but Yijun Feng continues just to keep powering that forehand back and forth. Here comes the backhand re-attack from Kanak Ja. Spins it himself, but gets another forehand right back at him. Unable to keep that one on the table and now trails 2-7 here in game 4. Oh, and there's an error that's huge.
He's overplaying those high balls, Sean. He tried to go down the line because Yijun Feng's been covering that forehand. The last 2 times Kanak made the forehand, Yijun kind of blocked that ball back, and that time Kanak changed his mind at the last second and made a mistake.
That was nice backhand opening off of the short serve. Yeah, it does look like, Corey, that Kanak Ja is almost choosing his shot before he's getting his feet into position and really going for a little bit too much. And another service error.
And that's the danger here. If he would have made that forehand flick on the high ball, they made the scores a little bit closer now, right? Because now Feng gives him the unforced error.
So with a timeout now in the corner of Yijun Feng, with an 8-4 lead, 2-1 in games, you can see that he doesn't want to risk having any more comebacks like we've seen in game 3. Players are allowed 1 timeout apiece. Both players have used them up. It's going to be interesting to see what type of tactical change might be in store. Kanak will be serving out of this break.
I think that timeout by Feng might have actually helped Kanak a little bit too. If I'm coaching Kanak here, Sean, one thing I tell him is just play a good shot. You don't have to play a great shot. If the guy returns it, just play the next shot. There's nothing wrong if you play a really good shot and then make the ball back. And that seems to be what his worry is when he gets the high ball. He's worried about if the guy gets it back or not. And if he gets it back, you just play another strong shot and you continue the rally. And that, I think, is just a little bit of inexperience maybe, a little bit of youth getting too excited.
And once again, going for the big finishing shot when that ball had some height on it.
Oh yeah, there's no question the ball was high. Kanak just not quite in good enough position to capitalize.
Wow, what a mistake. Both players showing the nerves here in the singles men's final. 6 game points. Very strong backhand attack there by Ja.
That time the main difference, that ball that he just attacked there was kind of high too. And the main difference with him making the high ball and not is that time he just played a good shot instead of trying to make a great shot.
And that forehand is just lethal. Yijun Feng now with a 3-1 lead, able to control both the short game and the power game, looping through the ball. So much power, so much finesse. Kanak really has his work cut out for him if he's going to be able to stop this steamroller of Yijun Feng, just trying to stay away from both that backhand-to-backhand exchange and that devastating forehand drive. That's a tough exchange to play when both players are back off the table. Yijun Feng has such a height advantage. He can take the ball from various levels. Kanak's been doing well up at the table.
One thing I'd like to see Feng add to his game is when somebody kind of floats the backhand. At the more advanced level, guys step around that and use their forehand. I mean, he has that capability, he just doesn't always do it.
And again, Kanak getting that forehand into play that we saw in Game 3. Anytime he can step around his backhand, it's been working for him quite well. And now Kanak with some breathing space here in Game 5, mixing it up.
And the way he got there, Sean, was just playing good, solid table tennis, nothing flashy. He's got to stay away from the flash and stick to the substance. Just make good, solid shots.
Oh, that was 2 nice blocks there by Ja. Able to open up with the backhand, deal with a nice forehand topspin, but leaning forward, another forehand block. Finally, Yijun Feng goes long on the forehand, but Kanak holding his table, holding the ground, and not leaving the table so easily.
Again, the height advantage. Feng gets such a nice lift on his forehand. The ball travels pretty high over the net, and by the time it gets to Kanak, it's up by his ears, and it's really tough to make quality swings from that area.
Again, really going for broke on those short service returns.
The key really, Sean, is what he should be doing is he should move to the middle of the table. He should play that ball with the backhand so he has more locations available to him. if he plays that forehand, it's so hard to play the forehand from over the table and to play it down the line. He should play that ball with the backhand, and he has that shot.
Oh, nice backhand opening, but Yijun Feng went for the powerful step around, caught the net, was able to make one return. Then here comes the push, backhand topspin, powerful forehand just going long. Corey, anytime Yijun can take an extra step and get that forehand into play, it's just been money for him all night. Again, Kanak from the backcourt.
Yeah, that time, Sean, you can see Kanak goes a little bit further back to allow that ball to drop a little bit. Right here, you see how far he's actually out of your picture. He has to play back that far when they're doing the forehand to forehand rally because of the height and arc of Feng's forehand. Kanak has to let the ball drop a little bit so he can make a quality swing.
Oh, what a backhand over the table. Again, that backhand and forehand combo that Yijun has. Off of the short balls, just steps in, uses the wrist completely open to the forehand side. There is a reason he is the defending U.S. champion. Power and finesse. Oh, and Kanak Ja going toe-to-toe, figuring out a way of getting his own forehand into play. Not giving an inch, but getting jammed into the backhand corner, and then powering it down the line for the winner.
Yijun hitting absolute bombs off that backhand. Kanak didn't do anything wrong, but that ball is just flying off Yijun's racket. Kanak just trying to hold the table and play some defense, but not able to keep the ball on the table. Really good quality shots by Feng. This point is one of the most important points of the match for the youngster Kanak Ja.
That's just too good. Kanak Ja stepping around, powering that forehand after a backhand-to-backhand exchange. He jumped around that corner as soon as Feng Yijun played the ball. Excellent call. Super footwork. And another service error by Yijun Feng. Normally the serve's your advantage. Right now, trailing 7-10 here in Game 5. And Kanak Ja going for broke.
That's been his Achilles heel all match. He just can't control himself when he gets balls to attack. He needs to start out with a decent quality shot. It doesn't have to be a winner on the first ball. If he wins this game and I'm coaching him, that's exactly what I tell him is you have got to control yourself when you get the opportunity to make a first attack, and you can't try to go through a player the quality of Yijun Feng on the first shot.
Oh, look at that backhand play. It looked like Ja was happy just to keep the ball in play, but Yijun Feng took that backhand down the line. Right after one attack, John not able even to make a backswing on that ball. But he still has game point and the serve. So we are back to deuce. Yijun Feng not willing to concede game 5. And now
smart play, smart tactic there by Ja. The main difference is he should have done that on each game point. And when you throw away free points, you end up at deuce.
And this is amazing here, Corey. Another service error. Generally, players will go tournament after tournament without a service error. Yijun Feng is having difficulty just putting the ball into play here in the men's singles final. But Kanak Ja, no real answer to that play in the middle of the table. Very strong forehand topspin by Yijun.
Here we have, Sean, a championship point. Great attack there by Feng. And right now on his racket, he's got a chance to be 2-time men's national champion.
Nothing would be better than going into Rio as the defending champ who held court here at the Brooklyn Bowl. But Kanak Ja will not allow that, and we are back to deuce. Nice serve. Again, fighting to get around that corner on his backhand side. And Kanak Ja jumps on a loose serve and has a chance to right his ship and get back into this match with another game point and the serve. And Kanak Ja does it. He wins game 5, 14-12, with a series of great step-around backhands.
You can see clearly what Kanak is trying to do. He's pretty much hitting the forehand at all costs. And when you're late in an elimination game, Sean, you have nothing to do. You have to go for it. And that's what the young Kanak Ja does. He goes for it and he gets rewarded.
Just recently, Kanak Ja, as we can see here, talking to 2012 Olympic coach Stefan Fett. He won the team event and singles at the recent Pan Am Junior Championships. He knows what it takes to win in the finals. He's got gold coming into this event. But gosh, so far, Yijun Feng having difficulty with his own serve.
And I think it's good. That could happen even more, Sean. You saw the last time Feng made a good serve. It leaked a little bit long, and Kanak absolutely smoked it. That could play into the psyche a little bit of Feng. It's definitely something to watch for here in Game 6. Can Feng control his nerves and keep his serve nice and tight like he did in the first 4 games? And if he doesn't, you know one thing. The youngster's going to go after it. Whether he makes it or misses it, he's going to go for it.
Such a fine line between these two players. The defending champion in the gray, strong forehand and backhand attacks the young upstart with the serve, fighting to stay alive. What an exchange of forehand to forehands from off the table. Again, starting off the backhand opening and then forehand loop to forehand loop. Ja staying on the forehand, but then getting a heavy topspin by Feng Yijun. Very strong play to take point number 1 in Game 6.
All right, here's the moment of truth, Sean. How's his serve feeling? How's Ja going to receive the serve? If it leaks, you know he's going to go after it.
It was a little bit of a hesitant backhand. And the serve doesn't look as sharp
That
as
was
it
a really
was.
smart return, and I know Coach Stefan Feth told Kanak he's got to make that return. It's a little bit of a hesitation. It throws off the timing of Feng sometimes when you play a little bit of a softer ball into the backhand side.
And there we see Ja going for broke on what appeared to possibly, from his perspective, be a slightly high serve. The fans have really gotten into this match and cheering for the youngster, Kanak Ja. They want to see this go 7. Oh, that was so brilliant. Ja, after getting into a forehand-to-forehand counterattacking relay, jumped up to the table after one forehand loop, moved quickly up to block the ball.
Yeah, it really changes the timing, and that's where you can make Feng miss a little bit when you change the timing. He's a thoroughbred, and when the timing is normal all the time, he almost never makes mistakes.
And Ja opening up a bit of a lead here.
You can see again, Sean, he played a little bit of that hesitation on the receive.
And Ja took a full swing, even though the ball hadn't landed. He is going for broke right now.
There's no question.
If that's not the 4th or 5th time we've seen that, Ja reminding himself just to stay calm and not go for everything on the first shot.
And there's no need. He's been having success with that hesitation receive. And he hasn't been having a whole lot of success with the kill shot off the serve.
Very nice, deliberate, slow play. Ja getting back up to the table, but just spinning the ball nice and easy. That change in timing really threw things off for Yijun.
Oh, the long arms. He almost got that ball back. That was a net dribbler.
And you can see here, first the drop shot, and that ball catches the net and almost clearing the net. But coming back, so now a 7-3 lead for Kanak Ja to extend this to 7 games.
Another really nice hesitation return there though by Ja. He got the ball that he wanted. He didn't make it, but if he can keep creating that kind of shot and opportunity for himself, I like his chances.
Oh, that finally landed, that forehand flip kill. Just getting close to the ball,
So much
driving it.
He was so much calmer on that receive than the other ones. The other ones he was probably trying to hit another 30% on top of that. If he just makes a good shot, he's going to be okay. He's got to avoid trying to go for the great shots, especially when you can see your opponent is clearly struggling with his own serve.
Again, Yijun continues to land that backhand, moving it around out to the forehand side. Kanak Ja to take and move to game point to force a 7th and final game here for men's singles 2016. And both players have used their timeout, so they're going to go straight through this game regardless. No hesitation from Yijun on that last backhand. Kanak Ja steps away from the table to regroup. This is his final serve. And Kanak Ja takes game number 6, and we will go into a 7th and final game for the U.S. men's singles title here at the Brooklyn Bowl. Both players completely throwing everything at the opponent. Great backhand attacks, and Kanak Ja from Helvetas continues to mount an amazing comeback here in the men's singles final.
We have an interesting kind of
Fights for point number 1.
And you can hear the crowd back there, Sean. Their full support is behind the youngster. They want to see an upset.
Oh, and there's the powerful forehand by Yijun. A great exchange there. Ja goes for the attack on the serve return, but here comes the backhand spin, and then he unleashes that heavy forehand, able to go in both directions, picking the backhand side. Ja going a little bit more aggressive on that serve, challenging the backhand of Yijun. And you can see that the momentum is on Ja's side of the table, just jumping around, getting that forehand into play, taking it down the line.
Sean, in both the American Olympic trials in Greensboro and in the North American Olympic trial in Canada, Kanak won 7th game thrillers. So he's had success in these 7th games and very recent success. He's as comfortable as any when the pressure's really on. Is Feng comfortable? That's the question.
Oh, that was a nice aggressive service return by Ja, but Feng completely ready for the counterattack, driving that ball and tying it up. We've got 3s across the board right now. Great play by both players. Yijun keeping the ball, keeping the power on his side of the table, getting that big forehand, working the backhand side. Ja able to keep the ball in play, then trying to step around, but unable to keep the forehand on his side. Yijun continues to power. Final ball goes long. Ja continues to go toe-to-toe with that backhand, Corey. I'm not sure if he wants to continue doing that.
No, but I think he's comfortable because Feng is not taking the ball down the line, so he's not really hurting Ja in the backhand-to-backhand rally. And there,
Feng took it down the line. Got a chance to get the forehand into play directly. Here comes the backhand loop.
You can see that kind of loosened up the defense, and then that allowed him to get a stronger attack in. If I'm Feng, that's my key. I find a time where I want to take the ball down the line. It prevents Kanak from stepping around with no consequences, and it loosens up Kanak's defense. He's not quite as good at blocking on that forehand corner, and then Yijun can just pound the forehand.
Of course, players change. Ends in the final game at 5. And now Yijun with a 2-point lead, but Kanak Ja with the serve. Oh, that was a beautiful backhand loop down the line by Yijun.
Really impressive game 7 here by Feng Shan. Not showing any sign of nerves so far. Playing lights out table tennis. Pretty much error-free. Really impressive under this much pressure.
Major point right here for Ja. Net serve. Boy, that ball popped up a little bit, but it was on the forehand side. That looked like the first tactical error there. Ja wanted to play a backhand, but he had to run over so far on the forehand to try to implement it. So now, Yijun Feng with a 4-point lead and the serve. Great play by both players, continuing to get their forehand attacks in. Ja starts off the serve return with a forehand rip, but Feng continues with both a combination of forehand and backhands that take him off the ground. Finally, one backhand out to the forehand that sets up the follow-up forehand. 9-4. And Ja begins to mount his comeback with the serve, trailing 9-5. He'll have a chance to bring it within 2. And Ja takes point number 1 on his serve. Playing a lot more safe in the backhand-to-backhand exchanges. Wonderful play by Kanak, just taking his time, not going for too much. Had to deal with the backhand opening, but was able to get his forehand loop. Second ball played more to the center of the table. Paid direct dividends. Now, Yijun Feng with the serve. 2-point lead. 2 points away from the title. And Ja is able to take the first point.
Feng's getting away from him a little bit, Sean. Feng's got to be careful. He needs to keep his serve tight. The youngster really looking to attack the serve.
Oh, lucky break, and we are tied at 9 apiece in the 7th and final game of this U.S. National Men's Championship. These players could not be closer. It will be decided by 2 points. Now with match point and the serve, just a wall of offense. Ja spins it up heavy, right to the middle. Yijun unable to keep it in play. And Kanak has dethroned the men's singles champion and will now head to Rio as one of the youngest men's singles champions the U.S. has had in the last 15 years. What a performance by Kanak. What a comeback. Ready to get hugs from mom and dad. What a performance. What an amazing comeback